This conference will now be recorded.
Open the meeting of the June 12th Ennis Town Commission with the roll call of council. Commissioner Selly. Here. Commissioner Way. Absent. Mihan.
Here. Present.
Abernathy. Here. And Hardy is gone as well. If we could all please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of May 8th meeting minutes.
Approval. I approve. Motion to approve.
Second. Any additions or corrections? Call on the vote. Sally?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And now we have a presentation by Headwaters. Sorry, I put TNRC, it's RC&D. Sorry. Yeah, or else the other people don't get to.
There it goes. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to be here this evening. My name is Jay Doyle. I'm the Regional Director of the Small Business Development Center, which is part of Headwaters, RC&D. Headwaters, as you may or may not know, is an organization that provides various services, which we're going to talk about this evening, to a 7-county region, including Madison County. My specialty is in the Small Business Development Center. I'm the Regional Director, and we offer services to people who want to start businesses, or to people who are in a business and they need more help, or somebody that's at the far end. So we spend most of our time helping people get started as an entrepreneur. So we'll work with them on their business plans and on their financials, get them ready to go to the bank for financing. And then we also work with people who are already in business and may want to expand, or they are struggling a little bit. We can come in and do some consulting with them. And then at the far end of the life continuum, if somebody's had a very robust business and they want to retire finally and there's nobody in the family, how do I sell this company and what do I need to do? Or even if they want to turn it over to their family members, so we can help them with that. We also offer trainings for small business owners in a wide variety of subjects that may interest them. So those are always posted on our website, and we have those usually in the fall and the winter. It's too nice in the summer to do trainings inside. So the other thing we offer is a revolving loan program. So within Headwaters, we have a loan program for someone who wants to start up a business or who wants to buy equipment or maybe expand their buildings and their real estate, that sort of thing. It's a revolving loan program, which means all the payments that are made go right back into the loan to be reloaned out. We don't compete against banks. Banks are our friends and our partners. But what we do is if a bank turns you down, we may be able to step in and help you get started. And with a lot of new business owners, they don't have a track record. And so a bank is kind of hesitant to do that. So that's where we kind of come in. We are generally willing to take more risks than other banks. But we charge usually 1% more than a bank. That's all I have, and I'm going to turn over to Melissa. I'll take any questions you might have.
What's the maximum capital outlay that you'll do for a business?
You know, it varies. I think we can go usually up to $500,000, but we can go higher if it's a really good project. Okay. Yeah.
Do you float that money? Do you bond it? Do you use any venture capital, any crowdfunding or anything like that? Or?
No, that's a great question. No, it's all a revolving loan funds that are within Headwaters itself. And so if you need more than that, then what we can do, then we'll try to help with other banks and that sort of thing for you.
Good.
Yeah. We also work with the SBA. And so there's other organizations that do SBA loans, and we try to encourage you to do an SBA loan first.
And I'm sure it's probably here someplace, but when you say that you help them, do you help them organize? Do you help them register with the Secretary of State? Do you help them with the taxation, the IRS and the
Sure.
Montana Department of Revenue and all of that?
We will help them any way we can. But what we're not is we're not accountants and we're not attorneys. And so what we will do is when we meet with the entrepreneur is we'll encourage them to find an attorney that specializes in business, have them go see them for a lot of those details. Same with an accountant. But we can give some recommendations on HR, supply chain, all those sorts of things that they may not have thought of coming through.
And you can appreciate, I think one of the things that gets most people in trouble when they start a business is taxes.
Yes.
They don't realize, everyone, that they need to file documents with.
Yes.
Or keep
Taxation.
records.
Or keep records.
Yeah, exactly. So
We teach QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Low cost.
you teach QuickBooks.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes. In fact, I had a client yesterday. I was explaining to him that when he took a draw out of the company, he actually has to have withholdings on that. And then he has to file them with the state and the federal government. So he didn't like that answer
They're not
very
making
much.
taxes and insurance and all
Yeah,
those
that's
things
right.
too that
He
you
didn't
don't
like the
realize.
That's right.
Didn't like the quarterly payments.
No, he did not.
He would like it less if it were weekly. Then.
Yeah.
There's also
When I used to
confusion
do
about
so.
payroll. Always confusion about payroll.
Yeah. And we encourage them to find somebody that does payroll for them. If you're starting a business, that last thing you need to be doing is doing payroll.
Right.
And payroll now is cheap enough, especially with the software that's out there, to have somebody else do it for you.
However, there's pitfalls with that too.
Yeah.
I actually had a client that set up his payroll in Gusto, and somehow his mechanics W-2 showed tips.
No?
So you gotta be careful with that too.
Yeah. So I'll turn it over to Melissa to talk about her programs.
So I do the other side of Headwaters programs, and I am two things right now. I am the Brownfields manager, and Madison County is my champion. I actually have 9 projects in my Brownfields pipeline from Madison County, but none right now from Ennis. So if you guys, what Brownfields is property that's underutilized. It might be a vacant gas station or an old building that nobody's using, and nobody wants to because they're afraid it could be contaminated. They're afraid of asbestos, lead-based paint, meth, petroleum, all the yuck. So EPA has brownfield assessment funds, loan funds, and redevelopment funds. We have $1 million cleanup grant, and we just got our second supplemental $1 million cleanup grant. In addition, I can help connect you to free assessments from EPA and the DEQ. So both of them have assessment money. It's a little tricky. They're competitive, but those are things. The great thing about our brownfields cleanup, if you are a government or a nonprofit, it's 1% interest. It's almost free money. If you're a business or individual, it's 2% interest for cleanup. So plus the free assessment. So we have that available. And if you guys could be my ambassadors, the most critical thing, if you know of anyone that's thinking of buying a property, to stay eligible for brownfields, you have to have a phase 1 environmental survey before taking ownership of the property. Otherwise, you will not be eligible. So that that keeps you it's called all appropriate inquiries, and it keeps you as an innocent landowner. So that would be the one most important thing. But if you know anyone trying to buy something, send them my way. I'll help navigate.
There is a building for sale on First Street that the Freemasons own, and it's full of asbestos. So I don't know, maybe the realtor would have more information on contact. I think they've had a couple people interested and then not because of the asbestos.
Right.
So-
And that's a perfect timing. The hard part, government agencies move a little more slowly than most realtors or bankers.
But just to connect them, a buyer to you.
Right, exactly. If I let the real estate agent know that I can help in this way, if it sits on the market too long, we can certainly help. The other things we do, and Jay didn't tell you, all his services are free and confidential. The loan isn't free, of course, but All the help that he does is grant funded. All the help I do is grant funded. We also have a food and egg center, and they help connect. They do counseling. They can help, work with Jay and get ready for a loan, get ready for the bank. If the bank only supplies half, we can often come in as a second and match the bank's rates. So we're here and we're trying to close deals. We're trying to help. Um, he's working really hard on food hubs right now, and this summer you should see a Eat Local big advertising campaign to support our local producers and our restaurants that use local producers. So he's working hard on that. What am I forgetting? I had a list in my head. Yeah, that's yeah, Brennan Hammer. This summer, that's my second job. I am the hops liaison for this summer. So you might see a little bit of MontanaHops.com marketing, and I'm doing that as well. Huh? That's what I'm forgetting. So Brennan just got his certificate. We all wear a couple hats. He got his certificate in first-time home buyers in HUD. If you take the first-time home buyers training, you can waive your loan fee or get 1 or 2% interest off your home loan. So it's very, very worthwhile. It's very affordable. He just got his training certificate, and that's available. So he's going to alternate in person and online. So either way. And that's some of the things we do.
Did I hear you say that you do QuickBooks training?
Yeah, the Small Business Development Center does all kinds of trainings, and we can also bring them into the region. If you guys have, enough people that you think would be interested, we could bring a QuickBooks trainer to Madison County and do that. And it's usually that's a 2-day course because it's kind of hard, but I think they did it for $95. They've done website training, cybersecurity, Facebook marketing, a whole series of.
QuickBooks that does it, or is it?
No, we bring in professional QuickBooks trainers, but it's not.
Is it like a 30 credit course?
No, it's a 2-day. It's like 2 8-hour days. We serve lunch both days, and but I think it's $95. It's not.
a credit course for somebody that,
No, yeah.
It's for an entrepreneur that's wanting to know more.
To get you started and get you set up.
And we can do it virtually as well.
I worked with the Small Business Association in Georgia a little bit, so I'm familiar with that. And then we've also here in the town, we're working on a growth program. We're also working with just making different connections with, say, like the Madison Valley Housing, trying to work on workforce housing, improve that. I actually looked at the building that Brittany was mentioning a minute ago and thought about that myself. Parking's another issue with that. But anyway, there's, how those things are. I'm a serial entrepreneur myself, and I help other people start businesses too. So you fall right into my alley of stuff I like and enjoy. I'm a general contractor by trade. Even Montana Trust, we're working with them too. Just trying to everybody here trying to work for the benefit of Madison County and what we need, and housing, businesses, all of those things are really growing here. So y'all.
I couldn't believe the traffic as we watched the traffic go by today. We're like, oh wow.
I'm glad y'all are here to offer your services. It's wonderful.
So which real estate agents offering that building?
Well, we have a real estate agent right here behind us that could speak better than I could.
That offer, I'm sorry, what was the question?
And the building we were talking about earlier?
Oh, the building.
That building, that is represented by Remax. And I think there are some additional issues with that building. It's in the floodplain as well. And it has a cracked foundation.
Oh.
It's a low price, like it's a lot of attention. You know how that is.
But it is, it has a nice location, and if there is something to be done with it, it would be great. It is.
It's got 6,880 square feet in it. It's got beautiful wood floors. It is an old building, but it does, and the parking issue, too, is another thing for right there, depending on what you do with it, because I had thought about it myself. So, but there's a lot of need for what you guys are doing, and I think it's wonderful that you're here tonight. So.
Yeah.
But it is helpful to know that they need to get that assessment done before
Before taking, and it's only the phase 1.
Yes.
and that's a paperwork exercise. And then they can take ownership. And then the phase 2 would be actually going in and sampling and finding out how expensive it would be to do the job. So whether or not they want to take ownership before knowing the extent of what needs to be done, it depends on their patience. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we can leave. Should we leave all these flyers or should we take them?
I think we should leave them and then we can put them down at the library. Oh.
It was thrown up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for making the trek all the way down.
Yeah, you bet.
Yes.
Thanks.
It's a beautiful product.
All right, we're going to move on to library. Rolling out the department reports.
Good evening, everyone. Things at the library are hopping. This is our most fun time of the year. It's all good stuff. Our reading program starts on Friday. If you have an urge to make a tie-dye book bag, come on down. So we're going to kick off our summer reading program. A couple of things that didn't make the list that I just want to bring your attention to. This one did. On June 20th, Travis Scott, he's a founder of a nonprofit called Cycling on Purpose. He is cycling across the country trying to promote awareness in youth mental health, and he's going to stop at the library on the 24th, I believe, around 6 p.m. I've asked one of our county partners, the local health advisory council, to come in and help us host with this event. He's a super great guy, has a lot to say, and we're looking forward to the program. And the other thing that we have coming up is University of Montana. We have lots of great events coming up in June. This turned out to be a great programming month. But University of Montana is coming in to do a digital privacy clinic on the 24th. The clinic is free. They're doing topics in the morning and topics in the afternoon. And these guys are great about breaking things down in an accessible and understandable manner. So if you could spread the word about this one, and I will send it to the town or get it posted on the website as well. It should be a good one. Any questions for me?
The reading program, it starts Friday.
It starts Friday.
Age,
And no, it's all ages. And so from Friday's programs, it's usually up to age 10, usually around, the tween age is where we tend to lose kids a little bit, but we have programs for them too. And in the morning, we have a reading program plus the craft. And then in the afternoon, we have games for grades 6 and up. On Thursdays, in July and Thursdays, we're having just a movie and project hangout, mostly for teens. Yeah, we have a lot of fun things going on. And we also have an adult reading program where you can come in and fill out a bingo card and enter for some great prizes. So yeah, we have something for everybody. And last thing I just have to share is I just made a job offer to join our team. Her name is Erica Gibson. She'll be coming in next week to get some paperwork. So hopefully now we have a full crew, and her emphasis will be adult programming. And I'm really excited to have her join us. Yeah.
Do you know if there's, data on the tween teen reading? You said that's the ones where they don't engage as much during the summer?
So most of our data, I can dig some up. The bulk of data that's easily accessible is for grade school, probably up through 6. And then we transitioned to reading scores from school, as the, yeah. And my comment really that I made really isn't backed by data. It's just that age coming into the library. But however, so far we have kids of all ages coming in to hang out, and it's great. It's kind of a new hangout spot, which is nice. It's a nice place for them to be most of the time. Anything else, you guys? It's really straightforward this month. Thank you.
All right. Law enforcement's. Isn't there any questions? Okay. Public Works. Eric the Lone Ranger. He did pick up our benches too, that we picked up for our grant, for our scholarship from, yeah, they needed a little love first is what he decided. Yeah. He's sanding them and then staining them. He's like, oh, he said they were very rough. So from Kenyon Noble were the ones that John Wade sent that we turned in for our. So we'll make them good. It'll be amazing. It'll be good. But yeah. Well, it's a good thing he caught it. So he's working on those, getting those, and then I'll have to probably solicit a little help for some moving around of them, but we'll get it figured out. And then the other ones can get moved to either here or the Lions Club because the Lions Club is short right now too. All right, Susie, you're up.
Just one thing on Public Works. Eric obviously is doing yeoman's work with the resources that he has. And, he's just done an incredible job this month to get everything done that's in this report. Just want to recognize him for doing that with just one helper that's a part-time. So.
Yeah.
It does a lot, yeah. It's good job.
And when John gets back, we're going to try and figure out the rest of our watering issues. We renamed, Eric and I affectionately renamed Conley Park from Thistle Park to the Haunted Park. Woo, not really. So the sprinkler system won't, the timers are getting interference from all of our water systems. So they keep running at the wrong times. And so he's like, there's a ghost. I'm like, it's not a ghost.
Yeah, I saw him over there the other night.
So that's the final conclusion is we have interference on our system. So we're going to have to figure that out.
So I apologize for not getting a written report in to the drive. I did one zone site permit for a garage, one conditional use permit, which we're going to hear tonight, 2 sign permits. I finished the security training for court. We had a trial. We summoned for jury for one trial. That trial was canceled. Now we're resummoning them for the same trial at a different time. Also sent out jury questionnaires for the 2025-26 jury pool. Entered citations. We have around 100 deposits and reconciled end of month and processed end of month for court. It's kind of a zoning court report. It's not really zoning, but
all in one.
Any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can come hang out with me.
Any questions on the report? say I will just add really quickly, the dog tags are more than they were last year. So I'm proud of that, being able to get those in. And still working really hard on getting short-term rentals fully, like getting a business license this year. So
Do you have any idea how many are outstanding?
let's see, we have 5 officially right now for the new 2025-2026 fiscal year. And I believe that there is, let's see, I have a book, there's 28. So
23.
yeah. Anything else?
Thank you for claims. This was Brenna's first round at claims, so
Good job.
learned another new skill, knocking them out of her.
I had one question. Why does the business license application need a notary? It's kind of just a royal pain in the butt, honestly. So I'm just curious.
It's mostly for the water user ones that are in violation, that were in violation, and hopefully now recognize that they have to be compliant with the new pre-treatment.
Okay. So now everyone has to get a notary on their business license because of a few.
No, not everybody has
Oh,
to.
okay.
So
So I can just send in my thing without a notary.
yes.
Okay. I didn't want to be a jerk and do that, but I've been
Yes.
wondering. Thank you.
And maybe that's something that just I need to clarify.
I don't think that was on mine. I don't think I had mine notarized. I'm pretty sure I didn't, I don't think. Is it something new?
It was like a second page, not on the.
See, I picked it up. I don't remember. I could be wrong. Goodness, I'm not sure.
Industrial water user, that's what it should be. If you were an industrial water user.
And you have mine, any questions?
No. Thank you.
All right, claims.
I approve them.
I have a question.
Okay, you have a question? Okay.
Can I?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, you got a question on it? All right.
I had a question on solar lamps. What are those for? Oh.
Identified in our CIP plan for the north parking lot to put a lamp, mostly for the winter dark hours out there, staff and other people that use the public parking lot. So I purchased a solar lamp. There's no power to the building behind the library, which was my first choice. So I got a solar lamp to put kind of where the dog waste station is right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have a silly question. What's the elevator one?
Um,
The elevator one?
that is seed. That's for, some right of ways. Like a wild land seed for some right of ways.
Comparison, right?
No.
No.
I wanted to know the ways. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I saw one in here. It looked like it was duplicated. Oh, yeah, the disconnect door hangers. Exact same check number, exact same date, double. There's 2 entries
Oh,
for
okay.
191.62.
Okay. I did not catch that, so I'll be sure and take one off.
Okay, I was just wondering if it was
Yeah,
No, those
I
were
missed
separate.
if it
that.
was 2 door hangers or.
No, there's
Okay.
not.
Okay,
So thank you.
that was it. My questions.
Motion to approve with the amendment that Commissioner Abernathy has requested.
I'd second that.
Call on the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
I guess it's kind of claims. Tree board. Lisa. The shovel and the post pounder and stuff from True Value, are they up here at Town Hall, or where does the tree board store them, I guess?
After our event, they were given to Commissioner Hardy.
Oh.
So we'd be happy to store them. We would love a small section over here to put some, because we do have some items that we would love a small section, just so we know that we can access them year over year for the Arbor Day event. But they're in Commissioner Hardy's possession.
Okay. Now I know where to go looking. But hopefully if we get Eric's office, we can actually find a storage section here at Town Hall for him, which is coming along.
Yep. It's done. Is that what they wired?
Yes,
Yep.
it's wired. We have some quotes for insulation, so
Looks good. Yep.
we're there.
Looks good. Getting there.
All right, public comment on non-agenda items. Second call for public comment on non-agenda items. All right, last call. And there's nobody online, so. All right, on to unfinished business. The Sheriff's Office agreement. I will let Mr. Nehan take lead on this one.
Thank you. We have had a number of meetings with the Sheriff's Department, and we have had some internal meetings, and we have put together a 3 options plan. And option 1 is a plan that really endeavors us into getting the COPS grant and working with the Sheriff's Department to be able to provide the regular services that they would provide. For the first year, they would provide it on a per year basis, so a per year cost. And then after that, it would go to an hourly cost. If we are successful with the COPS grant, and we will proceed with the dispatch and the call center. If we can come to terms on a cost, and we're pretty close to that. So the 3 options plan, option 1 is a 3-phase plan. It phases in COPS grant, phases in the use of the Sheriff's Department, and then phases in executing the COPS grant with also the existing vehicles agreement that we have for the funding. And the option 2 changes to what we currently have, with the Sheriff's Department actually being much more supportive, which increases the costs. Option 3 is something that we hope that we never need to exercise, which would be reducing everything and relying entirely just about on the Sheriff's Department. But nothing is finalized. It's going through conversations. I've requested permission from the mayor to talk to the county commissioners. So I'm going to meet with the county commissioners on the call center and the dispatching part of the agreement. And I talked to the sheriff and one of his deputies on Tuesday rather. And we had a great conversation, and they're very much in line with everything that I just said, as well as the town, the chief, and Commissioner Way. So there's a lot there. I'm putting it into a final document, and we'll want the commissioners to actually see that and to have an opportunity to offer their input, and then we will put it into a vote, and then that way we can proceed with everything.
That's good.
All right. The IT contract, are we there? Ready for the next piece?
We are. I probably just want to say, I really want to thank the Sheriff's Department and you, Mayor Haas, and Commissioner Way, and Chief Moore. We put a lot of effort into this, and my hope is that we can get it completed. I've requested an extension, as you're aware, but the extension is just so that we can actually get everything finalized and that the commission can vote on it. I want Commissioner Way here when we vote on it, due to all of his efforts, and I think that it would be very unfair of us to try to push anything forward without Commissioner Way here. And everyone that's been a party to really making this whole thing come together. So.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Our IT contract with Mr. Swanson is all prepared with all of the school words taken out and everything else. So $200 a month, and he figures that that will cover basically his costs. So I'm saying thank you very much to Mr. Swanson for being so fiscally responsible for us taxpayers. Because by the time he gets done with the required CGen training and everything else, had he done it at an hourly rate, it would have been a far larger number for us. So you'll see in the document there's Appendix A. That is the only thing that we have to finalize afterwards. Basically, that's the what our actual equipment is, so that when I call him and go, hey, my home computer is broken, he's like, that's not on the list. Sorry. So
the great thing is that, so everyone knows, we did a complete inventory of all the technology that we have. And when you think of technology, you just think of maybe computers or cloud solutions and other things. But technology can be everything from these devices to two-way radios to the routers in the police cruisers to the communication devices to the door swipes and to the alarm systems that are at all of the pump stations. And so it's pretty extensive, and we put together a list. We know what that is, and we're going to, on an annual basis, basically go over all of that and make sure that someone on the commission, working with the mayor and working with the technology team, just keeps all of that fresh, refreshed, and up to date, and that we're swapping out equipment as we need to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position where we crash and burn because we haven't updated our equipment on a basis that's just responsible to replace a PC, as an example. Know what the life of expectancy of that piece of equipment is, and be replacing it before it actually gets into a situation that we lose it. So that will be sweeping right across the entire technology package that we have. So the next thing that we'll do with Mr. Swanson is that we'll work on the email policy, the social networking policy, the internet policy, and putting that in a final form and have that to the commission to be able to vote on it probably about next 2 months or so.
So is Mr. Swanson a backup for John when he's on vacation, ideally, or not working?
Yes.
correct.
To post to the website and do all that?
Yeah. And the great thing about Mr. Swanson is that there's really not anything that John currently does that Swanson doesn't have a background in as well. So it really is that he can act as a replacement as needed and be able to fill that position. It's good to keep him involved in the conversations that we're having when we have our meetings, just so that he's aware of everything that we're talking about in case he needs to jump into the position on a temporary basis.
Any other public comment? All right.
And once again, want to thank Commissioner Hardy and John Swanson and Chief Moore and you, Mayor. A lot of hard work went into pulling that whole technology package together and finding a solution to having a backup that wouldn't cost the town a whole lot of money, because we were looking at a very extensive cost that would have put a great burden on the budget. So great job by everyone. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve this contract?
I motion it.
Second.
All right. Abernathy.
Aye. Fine.
And perfect. So I'll get the final list with the Appendix A for updated for ours with our current inventory. All right. So we contracted with the Montana League of Towns and Cities to assist us with our cash reconciliation and hopefully some training. But after the deep delve and everything else, we got through the cash reconciliation, and as of last month, we're on track and to the penny. So that's where we're at with that. And I haven't gotten Jody to give me you said like a report card thing. That's the only thing I'm trying to get Jody to give me a report card.
Okay. Can we get a report card from Ginger too? On her training, how she felt about it?
Maybe a survey.
Yeah.
It was limited, but yeah, I can go over what we talked about. It was all online.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do my best to remember everything.
Well, no, I'm not asking for you to remember everything. I'm just wanting your opinion on the training and whether you felt it was whether you feel comfortable going forward being able to do what they taught you.
Do you mind if I jump in for a minute? Maybe just a recommendation. I do a lot of situations like this, and maybe you could put together a survey.
Sure.
And Ginger actually can respond to that survey, and then that way it would just give us a fulfillment of what you feel is important, and Ginger can actually respond in kind.
Well, it's more important what Ginger feels. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my point.
Okay.
All right. We'll get our report cards.
Was there cross training done with Brenna at that point? Is she able to do any of Ginger's job?
We're adding new ones all the time. Like claims this month is her first entire round of claims that Brenna did entirely by herself. So we're adding new skills in each section. So, and I thought the claims went amazingly well for a first round. Like beautifully.
She does help with that. She goes in and checks numbers to make sure that they're matching and that the timing is matching. So she does that as soon as the bank statement comes out. She runs reports on that and does all those checks for me. So
we're getting there.
She's the first step in there.
Yeah.
Also, with the mayor's permission, with as heavy as budget is right now, I've got a lot of hours to put in there. Brenna, I have given Brenna the file for the growth policy grant. She's gonna make sure that we stay on track there. And yesterday she reviewed it and went through it, made contact, sorry.
I just
made contact with Great West, and she's going to visit with their grant administrators at Great West. Just to find out a little more, since they do so many grants, they are willing to do that. Yeah. But she's also got all the forms necessary. She pulled all of them up. And what we're looking for though still, and Great West I think can help with this, is the timeline on when they want reports from us, whether it's quarterly or if they just want a final one because of the size of this grant, but we'll find out. She's working on getting all that information.
That's good. I'd recommend quarterly, so just to put it out there.
Yeah. So Ginger does a lot of the grant administration as far as the reports, training Brenda to be the next grant handler.
And I can see it's being done responsibly, because to throw too much at someone and to not have the opportunity to become acclimated with, become comfortable, and to just keep on piling things on is just an extremely irresponsible way to do it. So I appreciate the fact that you're being thoughtful about the way that you're processing this whole thing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Way to go, Brenna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learning new skills constantly.
And
adapting too.
Policies and procedures for this, the software written.
No, there's
your
no
training. Did you any policies and procedures? Did you write it down so that someone comes in, they could? That's typically, like old school accounts payable was you receive the mail, you stamp, you open it, you stamped it, receive. The day that you receive it, it gets sent to the accounting department that enters it, and again, it's stamped when it was entered, and then when the check is paid, then it's stamped paid and it's put away.
Yeah.
That's all listed
Yeah.
somewhere in a procedure manual.
No.
It is not.
Okay, that'll be a huge task, but I think that's probably very beneficial. And since it's fresh in your mind, it might be timely to sit down and kind of think about the steps you take to go through each of your job duties.
Start sketching it out.
Yeah, especially if in regards to software, because nobody knows all software out there, and it's you know, it's hard to learn. Yeah, sometimes. So
We have a manual in, say, the dispensary. It's an SOP for everything that's done.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like if said somebody need to wash their hands, if they need to wipe this down, if they need to prepare that. And it's just that way the second person, if somebody has to do it, can follow what the first person did. And it's just
And maybe we should consider this to be part of our technology package in the future. I currently just got through doing an AI SOP solution. So basically you just put in a single word and it scans the entire list of SOPs. And we just actually launched it in a place in California past week. So maybe we should stop looking at an AI SOP system that basically can, it's a knowledge-based system that just you drop in any keyword and it would actually give a full
so you can
description, logins, everything.
yeah, you could put like the software name that we're using for the finances, and it can pull up the manual, and from that manual, it'll create an SOP, and then you can go in and edit it to make it more usable.
And the thing is that even the software companies that we're working with, they can actually share some of the SOPs that they have and actually make it a very robust system. So
That's a good idea.
It could be thousands of pages long, and using the AI tool, you'll get a result in less than 2 seconds.
Right.
Nikki, you know, Brent, this girl, she made a pretty good manual.
There's good ones for utility billing.
Yeah. And the same thing can be made for any of the systems, because you can just go up and go to help and it tells you that whole section.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And maybe it's something to talk to Swanson about, that maybe John would be willing to actually do it we can figure out what it's worth to do. And basically would interview everyone, know all the softwares that we use, and basically just put together an AI SOP system. It would be fantastic. I mean, I can't imagine. Let's face it, we all never know what's going to happen to us after we leave here. We could have a life-changing situation, and there are a bunch of people trying to figure out what to do tomorrow morning. So, you know, being prepared and having redundancy is crucial.
Well, yeah, redundancy is great, but even though Brenna's being trained, if she's not doing it every day, you're going to lose a little bit of
That's
knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Those things that you only see once in a while. Okay. Have that on when I finalize the contract, I'll talk with Swanson about that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. On to our schedule stuff.
Good evening. Local government review update. We have officially submitted our tentative report, and it was published in the paper in the public notice section to let folks know where they can find the draft of the tentative report, which we stated would be at the library or town hall for a physical copy. And then I've also sent it off to IT to get posted on the website so that the full PDF is available there for the public to view. Our next meeting is the public hearing on June 25th. Unfortunately, the Madisonian erroneously posted it to be the 18th. So they'll be correcting that next week to share the correct date, June 25th at 6 p.m. at the library. And Dan Clark with MSU Local Government Center will be attending that. So we're looking forward to his insight and just ability to answer questions and kind of field public input on our recommendations and our report. we have a tentative meeting for the 26th as well. That way we can take any notes from that public hearing and immediately turn around with any changes that we might feel are pertinent to the report that we've so far provided. And then July 10th, the regular town commission meeting is when we will present our final report to the town commission. So that point, we will present it to them, to you all, and you vote to decide whether it goes on the ballot in November. So, any questions?
The 25th is at the library.
Yes. Yep. At 6 p.m.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you for
6
all.
p.m.?
6 p.m. Yeah, the public hearing will start at 6 p.m. and then we do have a meeting that'll follow whenever the public hearing wraps up. We imagine maybe 7 p.m. or so, but we just.
Thank you for all your hard work and everyone that was involved, your vigilance and making sure that this done right. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. During all of this, have you learned anything that you wish you would have done different or known differently, or is it turning out kind of how you thought?
It's always hard to get the public involved.
Okay. Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
you know, no matter how long a process
Yeah.
could be, it's hard to get the public to show up to meetings. We tried to do, like I said at the very beginning, 2 different times of day. So we had evening meetings and daytime meetings. And we had a few people that showed up a couple times, which was great. I also think that one of the takeaways too is that there's a million ways to present ideas for the same end goal, right? So yeah, but overall it's been a great process. I think that we received, you know, lots of feedback that is very helpful and coincides with feedback from people that worked in town, either as elected officials and employees, as well as folks that just observe from the outside in a different manner. So we will also be sending out a postcard again, so keep an eye out in your post office box for a flyer or a postcard that'll go out like we did when we had our first public hearing. That should hit boxes probably around the 20th or 23rd. So a good reminder right before the meeting.
Those were beautiful and great time, perfectly timed last time. So good
Yes.
job.
Good job, Karen.
Perfectly timed.
That was,
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'm just anxious to see what people thought, how many turned in and reported.
Yeah, and
gave you
it's all
ideas
in the
and-
tentative report.
Yeah.
We might make some updates to different resources that we
Yeah.
provided to our data, but the tentative report with resources, I think, was roughly 65 pages long. So,
Yes, that's good.
and I believe Ginger printed a copy. It's in town hall. So,
Yeah.
Sweet. So next item is the Montana Coal Endowment Program Award. So 4 years in the making, pretty much. So to even be eligible for this grant, you have to have a current water PER and wastewater PER, and ours was out of date. So we went through that process, got those main documents up to date and ready to go. And then we're eligible this legislative session for that state funding. And I'm happy to announce that we were awarded $500,000 towards our water projects. So perfect, beautiful. Thank you, state, for that. So we did not get the CDBG that we applied for. So we're going to have to, I've already made contact with Great West so that we can come back to the drawing board, hopefully with the planning board that's still intact, to reevaluate where we are and replan and go again. So with that awarding, we still have to meet our target rate by end of completion. So the next main item for this council will be to do the water rate increase. So Great West will be kind of guiding us through that, because that's a little bit more than just a regular ordinance change. So look for that this year.
Yeah, and it was good to see that Sheridan they're doing theirs, saw that in the Madisonian, they're doing water and sewer increases, or at least hearings on it. It's long overdue, right? It's not good for everyone, but, it is something that we need to consider, so.
Perfect. So that's the plan. Oh, sorry.
Remind me of the total need to be raised for the project.
For which part of the project? Sorry. For the whole thing?
Yes.
For both. So when we did our original plan for the MSEP and CDBG, we included the storage facility tank. So altogether, that was about 3.5. So with the half, I think we're to, and with what we already have left in ARPA, that's enough to do both primary and secondary walls, the site plan, and actually finish that completely in its entirety. And if we can actually get that done in the next 2 years, then we could be just eligible to try again for the tank, which would probably be the smartest bet, and make sure that we're doing our water rates so that they know we're all in. That makes sense?
It'd be good to set up a reserve account anyway. We need to begin to actually earning some money off floating some bonds out there on these things, so.
Correct. So regroup, get them together at Great West here so that we can make a solid plan between planning board and this council and continue the ball rolling, I guess. Take our good momentum and carry it on. So that's what I know there.
Do we have a bond rating?
What?
Does the town have a bond rating?
Ginger? Bond rating. Do we have a bond rating? No.
And we should. I mean, the reality is that if we want to be eligible for funding and other bonds and other opportunities, we really want to pursue a bond rating, but we want to make sure that fiscally we're in a very good place before we request a bond rating. And that's really something that I think Commissioner Abernathy would be able to be very helpful with.
Okay.
I hate to volunteer.
I think you just got voluntold. All right. So you and I, we can work on that one.
What's that?
Work on the bond ratings.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On to our conditional use. Susie, you want? So you can go over there and then you're farther from it.
Here's a dated big map. I actually have two. Oh, you got it, Brittany?
I already have one, so.
I looked at it online.
Yeah, I already have it.
Thank you.
So I forgot my reading glasses. So I'll do my best. Brenna uploaded the amended staff report for me today. So I don't know if you had a chance to look at that, but this is a conditional use submitted by Brittany and Chris Hirsch and Madison Waste LLC. The application is also signed by Lucas Lang, who has power of attorney for Margaret Borko, but they were able to get her signature, and that's also in the packet. So this conditional use is for a residential home in a commercial industrial zone. The planning board held a meeting on Tuesday night and made a recommendation to approve the conditional use. The property is located south of the post office. It is, it's lot 3B, and it's accessed by Madison Avenue and Bower Lane.
Can I suggest
Is
something?
there a building
Yeah.
It's vacant land right now.
there? Oh, I was gonna say there's a building.
I'm just curious, have you read the staff report or need documents.
No.
Susie has. Sorry, I was just going to say that maybe if everyone had read it.
I
they would
can
need
only
to-
highlight
You may have seen it too when you pass by. It's the place where the poured concrete pads are.
No, it's
No,
the
it's
next.
not.
It's the next
It's the
one.
next
Okay,
one.
so we're
I-
next to it.
It's the one with the little tiny house on it right now.
Correct.
Okay.
It is, yes. It's actually got stakes on it right now.
Yep.
So single and multifamily uses are subject to a conditional use in the commercial industrial zone. We did receive one comment. Brittany actually received one letter of support for the project from, and Brenna actually scanned that. Did you scan that also to the drive? So it's on there from Joe and Allison Beeland in support of the project. I got no other comments on the project. They have met all the criteria for the checklists on for the landscaping. If you want to hold it for me, I can read it better.
You can bring that.
Yeah, maybe just one thing to add. Carla Smith came by the meeting as well.
Oh, she did.
And did speak in representation of supporting the project as an abutter. So just wanted to add that in.
Yes, thank you, Carla. I forgot to add that. So from the application, what is the intended use for the building or property, and why is this use needed at this location? And this is a narrative from the applicant. Describes the proposal use as two commercial shops with access along Bower Lane. Their third space along Madison Avenue will be a single-family residence. How will the public interest be served if the application is approved? We strongly believe the project aligns with the town's priorities by transforming unused land into productive space that supports local business growth and introduces much-needed housing. In what ways is the proposal consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan growth policy? The proposed development will help meet those needs for Madison Valley Waste while contributing to the goals of the town's growth policy by offering additional space for other growing substantial businesses, sustainable businesses that are open year-round, as well as increasing housing for the community. So they did meet all of the checklists for the sketch and site plan and the landscaping requirements. Conditions for approval: the residential building shall be constructed and maintained in conformance with the submitted application materials and the site plan as submitted and approved by the Ennis Town Commission. 2 parking spots are required for single-family dwellings. All water and sewer infrastructure shall be constructed in accordance with the Town of Ennis Public Works Department standards and requirements established in Title 10 of the Ennis Town Code. The project shall include installation and maintenance of landscaping in accordance with the site/landscaping plan. All exterior lighting shall meet the specifications of 1145B, which requires cutoff light deflectors, or other equipment that directs light downward and inhibits lateral glare. This is an additional from the planning board. Any fencing on the subject property shall meet the specification of section 1143 as applicable. The requirement was fencing recommended in the event of outside storage of dismantled vehicles. I added what the zoning code regulation is. It is 1142B3. Screening is required for vehicles awaiting repair or that have been repaired. Auto repair activities and unassembled vehicles shall be fully screened from residential zoning districts, and that's in our code. So where the commercial vehicles are, there is no residential. Number 7, the right to use an occupancy permit shall be contingent upon the fulfillment of all general or special conditions imposed by the conditional use permit procedure 11.4.19. And number 8, added by the planning board, final building plan shall be in accordance with Montana State Code. I kind of skipped over them, but if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Maybe if I can just add, the planning board did a very thorough hearing the other evening. I think everyone can agree with that. I thank Brittany and Chris Hirsch for all of your hard work and working with us and tolerating our questions. We sometimes get a little bit deep into the weeds with what we're doing, but it's out of respect for the town and for the code. So I thank you for that. But the hearing was very fulfilling in the sense of making sure that there are fire and odor barriers between the residential and the commercial, and exactly what will happen, and that they'll be submitting a plan, the plans of the construction and the building itself when they're ready, when they're completed. But the hearing went well. We really appreciated everything that you brought to offer, and my personal opinion, and I said it when I was talking to Susie a couple of weeks ago, it's an ideal project for that property. So I thank you for doing it. And the planning board was very receptive to it.
I do have a question. You may be able to answer it. Probably it's going to be for Brittany. And it's not necessarily anything that, it may just be, you may say, hey, that's nosy, it's none of your business, and that's okay too if you do. But I know that you plan on having two businesses there. You're going to rent out one, you're going to have your other one, and you're going to have your home there. In this presentation or your application, it said twice that you were going to be providing extra housing. Is that because of your selling your own personal home? I mean, I may know the answer to that. That might be the, okay.
Our home is sold already, but
Okay.
yeah, so we'll be moving into this and then eventually moving out of it and renting it to
And
either
doing
an
it to- okay.
employee or anyone else.
Okay, I was just curious
Yeah.
and wondering about that. So,
And it was great that Margaret was able to join us virtually, and it was also great that Lucas was there. So we had the support of the current property owners supporting the project as presented, which I think just spoke volumes as to how everyone was dotting their I's and crossing their T's for this project. So if there are no questions on it, I probably would just like to make a motion to approve as submitted by Susie.
Second.
What? You don't have to sit in the corner. You could sit over by Lisa if you're afraid of the noises in the corner.
I know. Oh, it's there, trust me. I trust you.
All right.
Is it big or little?
Any public comment before we do our final vote?
I have a comment.
Oh,
Not a comment, a question, actually. So number 6, the fencing, are we scratching what the planning board, are we leaving what the planning board, their recommendation was fencing recommended in the event of outside storage of dismantled vehicles. That's what their recommendation was to number 6. But the code says screening is only required for vehicles awaiting repair or that have been repaired. Auto repair activities and unassembled vehicles shall be fully screened from residential zoning districts. So the commercial part of the structure is going to be facing west. So commercial industrial on the north and south side, and across the highway is on the west side.
But Madison is residential.
Mhm.
Madison has a view of the property.
Yes.
But
I just want
Madison-
clarification if you want that left in there.
the fencing and all needs to be in there. Is that
Yes.
what she's asking? Yes.
Okay, I don't think it's required in a commercial industrial.
I would
area.
agree with that. And I think after reviewing the code after the public hearing with the planning board, the commercial space does not face a residential zoning district. So by suggesting that, which it does not match up with town code, you're setting a precedent for all the other businesses along Bauer down the road to need to do fencing. So that was, I think,
they're looking from if you're on Madison Street.
it will not be visible.
Well, that's what
So-
they're
Well,
trying
there's-
to just to
there's a
make
house-
sure that
There's a
from
trailer
Madison-
right there that would have perfect visibility.
They're in a commercial district, not in a residential, quote from the code, residential zoning district. So,
That trailer is commercial?
It's in the
Yes.
commercial industrial. Yeah.
Well, I
and
would
so would our single family home be. It would not be in a residential zoning
I would just say
district.
two things. First of all, it's not setting a precedent against anything that has currently been done in the past, because any planning board or any commission can make conditions on what they are currently sitting in front of. I've sat on commissions before where people have broken all types of regulations, and I can't go back and I can't hold those people responsible, but I can make sure that as I'm exercising the code, that I'm exercising it as to what the current planning board's interpretations are. And we felt that the properties, the residential properties on Madison, had a view of that property. To say that you have a building that's a footprint, and then to have those 25-foot widths on each side, those bounds, to suggest that it wouldn't be possible to park vehicles along the sides there. And
Yeah,
they-
we actually will be fencing the entire residential area. So it'll come from the building out to our property line
Mhm.
and up to Madison, across Madison, down our property line and back into the building, which we discussed on Tuesday. Yes,
You're preemptively fencing.
Yeah,
you're
so
all
the
set.
commercial side does not need additional screening, I guess, is what I'm clarifying. Because it'll be screened by the residential property. If we have dismantled vehicles, which we don't plan to have them, but I think that's
But
the
they
key.
included repaired vehicles too in there.
Right.
Repairing, yeah.
But we're gonna have vehicles parked there
Right, absolutely.
that don't need repair.
No, actually, they're, what the planning board added was outside storage of dismantled vehicles, not repair vehicles.
Right.
Just, they said dismantled. So
So I guess it's a non-issue.
it's a non-issue because if your fence is going all the way across from, then it's already shielded, correct?
It's shielded in Madison.
Yeah. which
From
means
Madison.
that- Which makes it mute, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's there, right?
I think so.
It's a mute point. I mean, if you're fencing, then you're fencing, in which case you're meeting the condition before the building's even, as the building's erected.
I guess we were just, wanting to make sure it
Yep.
wasn't going to be like a whole property.
Right,
Just
that the
screens.
commercial area portion of the property has to be fenced.
Yep.
So, yeah, I understand what you're asking.
I just
Yeah.
want to be careful not to relitigate what the planning board did the other night, because
Make-
it just caused.
change their
confusion issues.
changing their recommendations.
Right.
I mean,
So do you want to change your motion?
As far as what, we're accepting it the way it is because the condition doesn't matter if they're planning on meeting it when they do the construction.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Susie. You did a great job on that. Really appreciate it. I know it
Thanks
was,
for your help ahead of time. Appreciate it.
all right. Any other public comment before I let them vote? All right, we're doing it. We're back to Sally.
I think it's a good thing, to be honest, yeah.
All right. Congratulations. I'm excited to see it.
congratulations and thank you.
I think it's going to be an amazing project. It's the perfect fit. All right, resolution 610, adopting special event policy and application. So we're there. Thankfully. Hopefully this helps whoever sits in the seat navigate events as they come up. And then for the town to be able to assess fees and recoup costs of having things like Paramount in town and concerts and things of that nature.
so that we can recoup our time
And cost.
and cost. And it makes clear for the applicant what we need from them.
Would you like a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Public comment. Mm-hmm. Any other public comment? Last call. All right.
Aye.
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 Okay. Woo-hoo.
Finally, and thank you to Commissioner Way. You put a lot of work into that, as I know you have, Mayor. So, honestly, John's not here to hear it, but he certainly deserves to be noted as to all the hard work that he put into this.
Amen. All right. Resolution 611.
If you look in your package, you'll see that there's the resolution, but you'll also see, thank you, Ginger, for the photos and all the support documents that we had from the state, that we had from the county. They're very helpful because at the end of the day, our sewer system is at risk as we continue to not address this issue. And we have a very fragile system as it is. We have some clay piping out there. And to try to route it through that clay piping could be disastrous. So this is something that, number one, we need to work on the public education part of it. I think some of those documents that Chief Moore shared with us will be helpful for that. But the resolution is great. Thank you.
The only comment I have is there's a misspelled word.
No, did I?
And the title publicly is missing its last L.
Fix it.
That's not significant.
No, it's not.
I
But
know,
no, I read the whole thing and I agree with it 100%.
I know Eric is going to be very pleased to see
Yes.
this, as I think
He was incredibly happy with the final product. Well, apparently, other than I can't spell. Yes.
Apologize, I haven't read the resolution, but how is it enforced? I'm fully supportive of it, but how?
So in the resolution, it wasn't an enforcement as much as an awareness. So
Okay.
in the resolution itself and its findings was the need for public awareness and a campaign. That we recognize that it is not, nobody's going to be sampling after every household to see what's going on, but
Sure.
to try and bring awareness with business owners, and we're going to partner there and see if we can curb this before it costs the towns literally millions and
yeah.
millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look to like 30 million for mechanical treatment if we don't start being respectful of the system that we all use together. And people just, a lot of people move from places where they have larger systems, I think is part of it. And they don't understand how a smaller system works. So now it's our responsibility to carry it and create public awareness.
Where those systems are isolated, where you know what users are.
Eric
There's
said at
only-
the last meeting that he would be able to identify the general geographic area that it
Yeah.
came from.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like there's specifically, in the past, there's been one or two, are they commercial users that tend to be, and
And
I'm
those
just
ones
wondering
still-
if there is an enforcement mechanism for that.
That's still in the pre-treatment,
Yes.
so you can.
So what I did when I made the motion was that it would be for a period of time. And if we see during that period of time that it's not working, then we will go to an enforcement measure and we will actually find some way to enforce it. I think that the community certainly doesn't want our sewer system to go down. They don't want to pay a couple $1 million to repair what we have. And I think that the education part of it is pretty much a no-brainer and everyone will support it.
And the pre-treatment that we did 2 years ago was beefy and well done enough that it has every bit of fine requirement in it. So.
Yeah, And this
fine
is
and
just
process.
asking people to be responsible. Don't put diapers and other things in it. There are many things that don't belong inside of toilets and septic systems, and we need to be careful of that.
Did I miss that Eric's planning to have a face-to-face conversation with the main issue causer? Or no? Because when I was here, I mean, we would just charge them money for them having to clean it out, and I don't think they care. Because
I don't think it's just one user anymore. I think we've become a very disposable culture, and it's starting to accumulate. And he's noticing it at the lagoon, and has to manually screen more and more material. So I think it's more of a everybody. Yes, there's the dude wipes here and here and here. I'm just saying that's a brand. I'm not saying it's the dudes, but they are everywhere. Kind of, I'm seeing them at all the hardware stores.
Yeah.
It seems like every place I shop, there's those disposable wipes, and everybody thinks it's. You can ask, but we were just.
Our plan was to ask the business to place a placard that they could not be flushed in our systems.
Yeah.
And I think under the education part of it, I'm going to ask that we actually hold a get together at the library, provided that's okay, and that we actually teach people how they can educate, and we can actually have placards or samples of placards that people can print and all of that. So this isn't done, at least as far as our part. We just don't set it and forget it here. We're going to work on this for the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think it's a great campaign. I also think getting public involved or to pay attention to a new flyer out there can sometimes prove difficult. So just going right to the source of wherever it might be getting cleaned out. You know, it's like they're catching it right here. So we're going to go in this business and just say, hey, just want you to know we're doing this campaign because we're having an issue.
And I can tell you that making it all the way down to the plant, because before Lucas left, Eric and Lucas had to go down there and actually clean out the tanks as they enter into the pump area. So they're making it all the way down to the plant area now, which is not good.
No. So when Eric says he's cleaning the pool, that means he's manually screening the lagoon for material.
He's opening the cover and he's climbing down and he's physically cleaning it out. Yeah.
So let's not. Don't flush it.
Right? You have to help. Yes. Yes.
We have some.
No, I think him coming out of there with, a basket full of that stuff, take a picture of it.
So I have all the documents from when the county and the state did it, and we can share those with all the businesses and the property owners if we do our get together, the forum.
Yeah, because a lot of people that live here care, and more than people just traveling through. Yeah. So our short-term rentals, hotels, things like that, I put signs up in my place. So hopefully we can educate people not to do this, but then we're still going to see that some people, it's just going to be a problem, and we'll have to deal with that from there, I guess.
All right. Any other public comment? Where are we at?
Aye.
All right. Well, now we'll.
And once again, I know I keep on doing this, but thank you to Eric. A lot of hard work has gone into this, and Mayor, you put a lot of work into it as well. And all the other work that we've had to do to pull all the documents together and make this happen. So thank you.
All right, commissioner reports. Sally, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, hadn't really done a whole lot this time. We visited, me and Mayor Haas and Jim visited over at the hospital, did a tour with them, saw what they needed, and really, honestly, they're just outgrown the hospital space. It's like any home. They've just really outgrown their space. But they're doing a good job using every bit of it to store, and using multiple, one room for multiple different sources of things, some good, some bad. So we met with them, and then also the Triple S Ranch over in McAllister is having an event this weekend that they are funding, raising money that goes to the hospital. They do sell tickets if you'd like to participate in the meals. It's called the Showdown 5 this year because it's the 5th year that they've done it. And they do have different musical performances that'll go on throughout the time, and they have different meals. So you can buy tickets if you'd like to participate in the meals, but if not, you could just go out and say hey and visit with them. And I was told to invite y'all to that. So,
Thank you.
And I guess that's pretty much about it for me that I can think of at the moment.
Well, it's sort of, I feel like I'm sitting at a Thanksgiving dinner and I've piled a whole bunch of stuff on my plate and I don't have a lot of time to get it done. So I have put some of my travel plans on hold so that I can spend about 60% of my time working on some of these projects over the next few weeks. So if you see me around, you can be pretty much sure that I'm working on this because we have an incredible planning board right now. I don't know what other people think of it, but we have an incredible planning board. They're very knowledgeable in all different areas, and they're putting in crazy hours. We're doing 3 meetings per month right now to do the growth policy and everything else. I just have to say they're working extremely hard, and they're a very talented crew of people. And I want everyone to recognize that because we need to add a couple more people to the planning board. And at the end of the year, I will be gone from the planning board. So, I think that we really need to do the best campaign that we can to get some people interested. We spoke earlier, and I think that what I'd like to do is I want to put something in the paper, really paying some accolades to the current crew that we have, and to the growth policy that they're working on, and it will give us an opportunity to update the community on the growth policy as well. We had a great survey, 31%. The members of the planning board are writing some of the different sections of the headers for Great West, and Great West is doing all of the other heavy lifting for us. But I think Susie can tell you that she goes to all these meetings, and you have a crew of people there that are just amazingly engaged with what they're doing, and they really want this to be successful because they know that the community's future is riding on this document. So I'm just sitting here telling you that number one, I want to thank them as much as we can. And number two, that we need to get some volunteers. So if anyone here knows anyone with any opportunity to come and spend some time with us, would appreciate it. Maybe they just come and sit for a couple of meetings and see what we do and say, hey, I'd like to do that. Because sometimes I think people get the opinion of if you're sitting on a board that you on occasion going to have your head handed to you, and it's just not the case. I think that it's been a very positive experience. So number one, I just clearly want to thank the planning board, amazing group of people. And number two, I'm encouraging people to apply for the position. And the mayor is going to put something up on the website. And maybe we need to go around and pass some flyers out, but I think that all of you are very well connected. I know you are, and I know that you know people that you probably can find that are interested in coming to help us. And so whatever you can do, we'd appreciate it. And we'll have an update on the growth policy, but the growth policy is coming together very well. So that's number one. The sheriff's.
Can you remind us who's on that board? I'm sorry.
We have Lyndon, and sorry, Lyndon's last name escapes me. And we have William Neal. We have Dave Berriman, and myself right now.
Yeah, Mark just resigned. Mark Sixtel.
Mark just resigned.
So we currently only have 4, so that's just enough to make the quorum. We looked into Montana code because there was last legislative session where you could combine boards, and I was like, ooh, maybe they made it so that you could make it 5, which made sense for all of us small towns, but no, they left it as 7. So we're very much in jeopardy of losing this amazing board that has been put together, and they've done, I remember having it before before when the commission had to hold all the public hearings for all of the conditional uses, and having that extra set of eyes is invaluable. It's not 5 people or 6 people looking at it. You have a dozen, and I think it creates a very solid product for both the applicant and for the town. So if you know anybody,
Is it the 1 mile radius
um,
state or is it in town limits?
no, there's 2 spots that may be within the 1 mile planning radius, and then 2 within an appointment from the commission. You can actually appoint of the staff as well. But where they're also writing the staff report, I think it creates a conflict there. So we've never done it like anything with Susie. Karen.
But,
No,
Mark Sixel just resigned from the board, and he'll be deeply missed. His input was extremely valuable in all of his hard work with the growth policy, and he said that he'll be stopping by for the growth policy on occasion, which we appreciate that support. And Lyndon Seed is the chair of the planning board. So in name, Dave Berriman and then William Neal. I don't know if we do it, but in the past with other communities, we've given resolutions and letters of recognition to people who have served on boards. And I think that this is very much in need right now, a proclamation to thank each of them individually for all of their hard work. I think that it's a way to let them know that we're deeply appreciative of their hard work. So my recommendation would be that maybe we prepare that for the next meeting.
Will do.
We invite them in and we publicly recognize them for all their hard work.
Got it.
None of the zoning board of adjustments qualifies for the planning board.
You can combine those members into it, but we would have to officially make those changes and then go through the ordinance change process with public hearing because our code book recognizes the zoning board of adjustments as separate. But you could combine those. Well, and then to be honest, like the zoning board of adjustments is not a zoning board as per Montana code, which is required.
Okay, that's not even.
So the adjustments is just a variance board. Zoning is separate. So we don't actually have a correct. So the town of Ennis has never actually been in 100% compliance with state code as to zoning. Back to the codifiers, looking at some stuff too would be good in there. Because I'm sure with the last legislative session, even in parking and everything else, zoning is probably the place where there's the most amount of changes that are not compliant with state code anymore.
I did ask the mayor, and I'm asking the rest of the commission if you're okay. I'm going to contact the Montana Department of Transportation, and I'm going to try to set up a liaison position with them and to basically create some level of communication where we can communicate once a month. And I also registered with Department of Transportation in the state for all of the grant programs that are available, because there's some 5307, 5309, 5310s, and 5311s that are available. And I'd like to see us apply for some of those. They'll actually help us with the roadways and some of the other things that we're doing. Sometimes they get overlooked. So I actually applied for that earlier today, and I'll be hoping to maybe set up a liaison position with them and then be able to pass that off to the new Board of Commissions in the future. The other thing that I have is that Commissioner Sully, I wanted to thank you. I got over there late to the medical center. But we had an opportunity to really review the property. I hope that when we do our growth policy, and I've already talked to the planning board and some other members about this, that we want to make sure that when we're planning, that we plan so that buildings can go up one level so that when you're building a property, that the foundation and the structure itself can support building a second level onto it. It wouldn't exceed our height limitations in town requirements. And I just think that any buildings that we look at in the future, we want to make sure that the ability is there, that the foundation and the structure itself is supported in such a way that we can always add on to it up. Because I think this would have helped out the situation with the medical center if we could have done that. And that's not anyone's fault. It's just that I think that as we're looking into the future, we should probably be looking at anything that we do that we can always put a second level on it. And I think it would be to the benefit of the community.
It would be. It's same thing with the library. You know, we could go down beneath and we could
Same
work on that, go out, but we couldn't go up.
Yeah, so we need to make sure, and it's going to be part of the growth policy that we'll actually talk about making sure that as we're planning in the future, that we plan around things like that. You know, we plan around parking and all of the other things, and somehow we miss the ability to make sure that the structure itself is sound enough to be able to add a second level on.
I agree.
So thank you very much. It was great. Thank you, Mayor. It was enjoyable actually going through there and seeing the whole technology center. Everyone wanted to drag me to the technology center and make me look at it. So
it was a what was it? I called it
it was
like a mad scientist's lab going on in there. You know. Yeah.
And the other thing that we've been working on, I sent over a copy of it in the Wage and Personnel. Commissioner Abernethy and the mayor, Eric, and myself have been working on the wage and personnel for the public works. So I call it DPU and DPW, so Department of Public Utilities, Department of Public Works, because it really is. And once we get this done, I sent over a final draft or a partial draft for one of the positions today, and I have the other two sitting in draft form. And if everyone approves of them, then we're basically going to get that done, and then we can move on to the other positions in the town and make it so that we have a wage package and a wage plan for every single position that's in town. And I think that it will work for the future commission and the mayor to be able to execute those. And basically all it does is it means that a couple of people need to sit down once every year or once every 2 years and take the pay scales and upgrade them.
And evaluate the benefits that have been offered and whether or not
exactly
they're working.
Yeah, whether or not the new plan is being effective as we wanted
I
it
just
to be.
wanted to remind on that note, the public that what restructuring the Public Works Department so that there is a plan for advancement. So you'll have an entry level person. We're going to have a more experienced person and then the director. And the entry level person will be trained and can move into that middle position. And so there will be a tier available. So we had to create a new job description that we're calling a utility worker for that entry level position, which of course is lower pay because they're coming in less experienced. So we're trying to provide a foundation for growth within the town so that someone coming here and getting a job maybe right out of high school can plan to have a career here. Right now, we don't have that.
Yeah. So we have a certified operator that comes after that, the utility, be certified operator, and then there'll be director. And the certified operator will carry all the certifications that would require them to actually be able to fill in for the position of the director if the director weren't here. And the pay scales actually accelerate to be able to modify each one of those positions so that it's something that I think is pretty enticing for the utility person to want to eventually be that certified operator, and the certified operator to want to be the director. So I think that we have set this up, and it's really set up as what I've been able to see in the past. So it's inviting to people to actually want to apply to the town and want to actually work in these positions. And to be perfectly honest with you, according to Eric, when we're through, people will probably be coming down from Bozeman to want to work here just because it will actually have those levels of enticements. Because when you put in that there's a uniform allowance you put in, that there's a boot allowance you put in, that there's a laundry allowance for people that they don't want to take dirty clothes home that have been around chemicals and put them in their washing machine and that they can get them laundered. So I think that we put our heads together and we worked really hard to find something that I think is in the benefit of the town and the benefit of really filling these positions and keeping them filled, right? It's easy to fill a position. It's easy to put someone in a chair, but you really want qualified people who are interested in staying. And I think that's really what we're hoping for.
And making the director position more of a director position rather than a working position.
Yeah.
That position needs to be able to sit down and look at our CIP, our construction in progress, also our plan for the future. That's what we've been missing.
Yeah.
Huge hole. So we're hoping that will also get filled.
So once again, I want to thank you very much for all the hard work, Commissioner Abernethy and the mayor and Eric. I think we've set up a structure here now that can just be carried across to all the other positions. Once you do that original blueprint, you basically can attach it to all these other things. So great job. And, when I was talking about the planning board, Brenna, you did so much work to make that survey work and to bring together all the different pieces that we had to do there. Wanted to thank you for that, and Ginger, with what you did for us with getting everything together for the wipes proclamation and all of that. And, thank you. And for the people who are running for office, and at least one of you are here, good luck. And we're here to help you with any way that we can in the future. So thank you. Thank you for tolerating me.
All right, Abernathy.
We appreciate you very much. I know. Got a few more months. A few more months. So basically, he covered some of what I've been doing.
He steals your thunder.
It's fine.
I would.
Yeah. It's fine. I had planned to make it to the summit that was held in Belgrade, and I did not make it.
They closed it. It was really full.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot.
Yeah. You can. I tried.
We would have to be there.
I tried
earlier.
ahead of time, and they'd already filled it. So our next closest is, I think, Red Lodge in July.
Yeah, that's not bad. I can do Red Lodge.
It's a cute. It's a very cute town. It's worth a road trip.
Yes, I do want to do that. Unfortunately, May was just a blur. With not even accounting, so it's just a blur. But yeah, I think everything's been said that I did. Just basically spending a lot of time. I'm sure this is TMI, but I do my best thinking in the shower. So, thinking about the benefits and things that we can offer that cost the town less money than trying to meet $100,000 a year wage. And there's a lot out there that we can do. Like he mentioned a few of them, the safety boot allowance, the uniform allowance, the laundry allowance. That one came up because we actually had an employee that was living in an RV that didn't have laundry and had to go to the laundromats, which can be a significant cost. So we have to keep that in mind. Housing is short, and some people are going to be living in situations like that.
It is, and I did forget to mention a while ago, I did attend a cohort for the Montana Rural Housing when I was doing that. So we've all got the same plans and goals. We've just takes a little bit of time and a lot of warm bodies.
Yeah, I think the great thing that I see is that, number one, there's a high level of cohesiveness here, and there's a high level of everyone wanting to be engaged with what they really know that they can make an honest effort to improve what we're doing. So, I mean, to me, it's just amazing to work with a bunch of people that are just so engaged and willing to roll up their sleeves and get some work done. So it's a big deal.
Mitch, I think you and I talked about this. I just want to plant the seed for talking about future benefits and attracting people. If, a lesser, say, just for example, a 36-hour work week for full benefits, just something like that to attract someone that's looking for a work-family balance. So just
I think
to,
Montana law is 32 hours.
there you go, to agree with the Friday works, Friday school schedule, just things like that. I know that in positions like ours at the library, that would be very attractive for
32
employee
hours
retention.
is considered full-time and qualified for benefits. Yep.
Thank you.
Or even like 410.
Or 410s. Yes, yes.
But if our code said, well, that's a good point. Oh, you see the lights going on, don't you?
You have noises and lights over there.
I know, right?
The party corner.
Interesting. So if our code says something different than Montana code, doesn't our code hold over Montana code, or is Montana?
No,
Montana code
supersedes.
State law supersedes and federal law supersedes that.
Yes. Write that in.
So Montana labor law states 32 hours is full-time and qualifies for benefits, including paid time off, medical, dental, all the stuff that somebody working 40 hours a week would be entitled to.
So what that means is that if you can't take the wages and increase them, that you can actually reduce the hours, and it gives them the opportunity to have other parts of their life.
No,
So,
sorry.
Susie. So
Is
as
she
you
on
can see,
salary? We can work her 50 hours a week without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So.
So as you can see, we lean on Commissioner Abernathy for all of this.
So we don't have to go look it up. She is the look it up.
And the
I go home and
benefits.
look it up, make sure I said it right.
Yep. I mean, educational benefits and a whole bunch of other things that.
Yes, and there is one that the town can use, which is also something that we can present later. But you had sent me something about student loan payoffs. We could not use that because you have to work for 10 years before it can start.
Yeah.
Which is not incentive at all.
No.
I found another one that can start immediately, and the town gets to decide how much each year, but the max that you can pay per employee is $60,000 over their employment time.
But still,
through their whole employment time. So the max, and you can pay maximum $10,000 a year. What we do at my job is we pay $1,000 towards any regular employee, which is it's a full-time employee. Any regular employee that starts with us, it's immediate. We will pay $1,000 towards your student loan once every calendar year. So we have several people that are hanging on just for that, because it's a huge weight off their shoulders. It's a huge weight. And that payment is not meant to replace their monthly payments. It's in addition. So they can't reduce their monthly payments, but at least it reduces.
It's an incentive, yeah.
Gets it done quicker.
And you can do, I mean, you don't even have to do 1,000 a year. You can do 500 a year. I mean, every little bit helps when you're looking at something like this, which is why it's such a great planning tool. But it does need to be in the budget as well as anything else we're talking about.
So, it seems like, and I'm not trying to offend anybody that falls in the category, but it seems like the younger generation, we have great benefits, we all know that. But the younger people seem to want the per hour more than the benefits. It seems like
They do. They do.
That's why it's basically a menu. Like you can have this or this or this, so that it's fitting more a more versatile pick. So
Yeah, we're calling it an a la carte menu.
Yeah.
So basically, they'll have an a la carte and they can pull from, because everyone
Which
knows.
will
the
have a
young-
max.
The
They
younger
can't
your
choose
family
everything.
is.
no,
Yeah.
they don't want
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving feast is what I choose.
Yeah, the younger your family, the more in the pocket that you want. And as you get older, you begin to look at the benefits and the other things that come from it. And, to Commissioner Abernathy's point is that we want a director that can have the opportunity to be a director. So if we can fill these other positions, that someone like an Eric will have the opportunity to be able to work on budgets and be able to apply for grants and to be able to search out these things and have relationships with people around the state to be able to help to get other things done. So I think that's what our hope is.
Our hope is, that operator level will come in with some education already, which puts this student tuition help in place.
Exactly.
We don't, I mean, we can't grow them and have all the knowledge that they need at that operator level. They're going to have to come in with some experience because we only have Eric, and Eric doesn't have time to train two other guys. It's just not feasible. So.
All right. My report, the regular stuff. And then I have to say thank you so much to the council for the special event policy because Memorial Day, I will have to say, I met with Commissioner Nehan, Commissioner Way for some early morning meetings, and then Officer Moore and I did a 2.5-hour special event tour. So that's fun to make sure that all of our needs and safety requirements were met for a concert down at the Lions Club Park from an applicant. So that one is in its final approval, pending some communications documents, ICS 205 documents that I'm awaiting. But at least now I have a base for getting some of that time back that's been spent, because I think it felt a lot like the Paramount when they were here, where I'm 46 emails in, I'm getting 26 phone calls a day. Where are we at? What are we doing? What are we doing? How about this? Can I change this? So at least now there's a process in which the town can rely on and get those fees for that time spent, because it takes time. Some of them are, a simple 1 hour review. It really doesn't. You double check and you're ready to go. But the larger events take a lot of planning. The 4th of July takes a lot of review of a communications plan, a medical plan. There's all the fancy ICS forms from 200 down to 208 that really have to be pulled off to make those events work successfully and safely. So thank you guys for having that in place and taking care of that, and John Way's work on it, because it will be incredibly valuable while it's in play. Wrote a letter for the request for resort tax assessment to the Department of Commerce. They said they are in middle of a couple right now and are going to, and then their collection of documents that are required. So they're projecting about 2 to 3 months. So where we expected to be. So that's in its completion. My brain hurts. The hospital review.
Reach out to the chamber. We were going to reach out to the chamber and see if they wanted to participate or have someone come in on a
regular basis.
Yeah.
The liaison, that was the next on my list, was our final completion document of our liaisons, those people that we feel that we need to have a liaison and have a consistent communication with. I did review every spring when the Lions Club gets done with their evaluation of the park and their future plans. They call me as per agreement. We go through the park step by step. So another beautiful 2-hour walk in the park. Got to go through all the Lions Club future plans. I'm excited for everything they have in the works. A lot of maintenance as per the norm. It's a large piece of property, and I'm incredibly thankful for that group and all the hard work that they do down there. So from us, they're looking if anywhere in our budget we can find for some tree limbing and removal, because they're getting bids similar to the libraries, where we're looking at 10,000 and some tree removal, 10 to $20,000 for tree removal and tree maintenance. And they are looking to put in 8 benches, and their picnic tables are getting in the down in the, they're getting wore out. So, and if any of our grants, we can keep an eye out for those things as well. Madison County Public Health is trying to do a memorial for one of their members, and so I put them in contact with the Lions Club because I thought that would be a good place where they were looking for benches and somebody else wanted to do a memorial bench. So coordinating there to hopefully that project comes together.
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts. Followed up so that we could get our picnic tables from the Reimagine Rural Scholarship. The person in the office for the Montana group had left the office, and somehow we got forgotten. But we were remembered again from the Wyoming group. So that's all taken care of. So as soon as we're done, we have to go take pictures. That was the final part of that agreement. I think that's pretty much where it's at. The resolutions. Prepped that stuff.
Were you able to put together a liaison list?
No, that's almost done. We're gonna have to have double sets of eyes to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's obviously people in the community that we want to have relationships with. And then the county commissioners, the sheriff's department, MDT, the chamber, the Madison Valley Medical, and even just anyone that is to our benefit to make sure that if we need to call someone on the fly, that we can get the attention because we know who to call.
All right. Unscheduled matters. I would like to have a work session, but now I'm thinking, are we up for the 26th?
That's a trial day.
Oh.
I mean, just.
Good, because I can make it.
Huh?
The 26th, that's a Wednesday.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
2 weeks from today.
I have a softball game. Makeups.
24th is the thing is the event at the library. The 25th is the LGR public hearing. That leaves the 23rd of that week, which is a Monday.
I mean, you could still do it. I'm guessing they'll be done, but I don't know.
I don't want to play that without.
I'm fine with Mondays.
Monday's fine.
Okay, so work session for Monday the 23rd. I should have some at least preliminary budget numbers. Getting the wage part nailed down is kind of essential. So we might have to sneak together before then,
Yes.
so that those numbers, that's what's holding the pieces coming together.
Yep.
It all falls in. Okay.
Said the 23rd.
Yep. All right. Corey's not here.
Motion to adjourn.
Aw. Second?
Second.
Woohoo. All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, the public.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming.
Is there a day that works for you two so we can look on where we feel like we're at?
I'm always around. Except I work from home, so most of the time.
I'm not around Monday. That's the one.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Tuesday evenings.
It's my wedding anniversary. We're actually
My birthday's tomorrow. Yep. Yeah.
maybe we could do something fun.
Well, Mike's taking me out to the Land of Magic for dinner. And then my grandson's birthday is 16. That's in Logan. It's in Logan.
Hi,
A
Myron.
little tiny place, but it's delicious.
Greg's talked about it.
My grandson's birthday is the day after mine. So I'm driving to Anaconda Saturday morning. to hang out with them
birthday's right.
on the 14th.
No, she's right here too. She's the
Oh,
Yeah.
Flag Day. 14th is Flag Day. Yeah, so my weekend is pretty much spent. So, I'm actually not really celebrating until the 20th.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
We just need to be more enticing to someone to come out here because it's not an easy life.
No.
You're not only are you remote from like major grocery stores and malls and things like that, but the cost of living, there's nowhere to rent.
I am
And
in
if you've got any kind of animal, you're out of luck.
Turn it on like a
That's
dummy.
all right.
go last.